All right, and now you can share your screen again, Chiara.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, ladies, welcome back. We are in our third training session together and our fifth time together, if we include our opening session. And we're super excited to have you back with us today. We are going to be talking about your unique value proposition, which is what makes you different from anyone else that might be doing something similar to you. And then what is your go-to market strategy? So how is it that you are going to get to your ideal customer and sell whatever it is that you're selling? Go ahead and change. Okay, so we can skip over this one, but we are glad you're here. As you all know, I am Danielle. I am here to support you throughout your journey here with the Acceleration Program. I am a business coach and strategy consultant, so any questions that you have at any point in time, feel free to let me know. Today, we also want to introduce you to Christina. Christina has joined the BIC Africa team as a project manager, and she is going to be with us for the remainder of the program. And also, just so that you know, when Chiara is not with us, and you all know Chiara, but Chiara is going to take leave next week, Christina will be able to step in and answer any questions that you have about the program or logistics or any challenges that you might be facing. So welcome, Christina. Nice to have you with us. Do you want to unmute? Perfect.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot for the introduction. So indeed, I'm the project manager of the BIC Africa project, and I'll be here supporting Danielle and Chiara. So just feel free to contact me as well for any questions. Also, if you need some support with French, I'm here to help you as well to translate questions and respond to you if needed. So very happy to be here and to support you. Thank you.
Thanks, Christina. Yes, ladies, we know that many of you are French speakers and we're really trying to accommodate you as much as we possibly can. So Christina will be able to facilitate that. And also today's presenter, Agnès, is fluent, so she'll be able to speak to you too. All right, next slide. Here's where we are in the program. As I mentioned, this is our fifth session together, and we still have, 7 more to go. So we're not even halfway yet. Next slide. Oh, okay, perfect. And so now let me hand over to Agnès. She is going to be our trainer for today and taking you through your unique value proposition and your go-to market strategy. Good morning, Agnès. Would you like to introduce yourself and kick off?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Danielle, for the introduction. So I'm Agnès. I'm not just fluent in French. I'm actually French, so that helps. And so today we'll have a few activities, and I'll probably use that skill to help French speakers. But I appreciate that it's tough to get into sessions in English. Just a few words about me. I'm not 25 anymore, so I have a diverse career, working in the financial industry for quite a few years in London and Paris, and then in 2010, 2011, I moved to the Great South. So lived in Madagascar, Lesotho, and South Africa for about 10 years. Where I worked for development projects. And now I bring those two skills together. So working for impact projects, helping startup companies, helping investment funds, and actually also being a CFO of a company that I am a co-founder of in Madagascar. Using my skills to try and help people in emerging markets and especially Africa. And I'm a coach and mentor on the side as well. So those are a few words about me. So am I taking over the presentation from here, Danielle?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so just give me a couple minutes to make sure that I managed to do that properly.
No worries. We all have Zoom. Even if we use it every day, it's still like navigating.
Yeah, exactly. You have the transition points are not great, but
That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. So today we'll be talking about two very important topics: the unique value proposition, so the UVP or unique selling proposition, USP, I'll be speaking in acronyms. Unfortunately, I'll be using the UVP or USP term because it's shorter. But basically, what it is your, as Daniel said, is what makes you unique compared to other solutions. And so this is going to be part one of the of our subjects today. And then the second part of today's session will be about, okay, when you've managed to find what's unique about you, how do you go and present it to your customer? And that's the go-to-market strategy. Oops, now I'm going too fast. So my goal is to make it a lively session. So please, if you if you have questions, there will be dedicated times for questions. But put whatever question you have in the chat box. Really, the idea is to make it really practical and to help you get away from today's session with tangible elements. So what my goal is today is to help answer those key questions that are on the screen right now. So is my product or service really needed? So is your product and service really needed? Is it solving a problem? And is it solving a problem that's a critical problem? Then who needs my product or service? Who is my target customer? Does my target customer actually want my solution? And then, is my solution unique? How are other people doing the same thing that I'm doing? Can I be easily copied or not? And lastly, how do I set my product or service in the best way to successfully reach my target customer? So the expected outcomes of today's session is for you to have a draft or at least broad lines of your UVP. So it means by the end of today's session, you'll have thought about who is your target customer, who is the competition, what is unique about your problem, about your product and service, and then have genuinely considered other solutions in the market. Then the second outcome is you will have hopefully basic steps about how to target your customer, how to go to your customer. Agenda, part one, UVP, part two, go-to-market strategy, not very difficult. And then with that, we'll start with the UVP, the unique value proposition, unique selling point. So my first question for you, and I would love you to post that in the chat box, is that have you ever heard about the UVP or USP terms before? So please do use the chat box to let me know if this is a new notion to you, or actually you have had. Okay, so Marlene says, yes, I did. Okay, new notion for me, very interesting. Okay. So for those people who have heard about the UVP and USP before, what do you understand about it? In a few words, what is it to you? Oops. So does anybody have like even a few elements in mind? Like when you say UVP, what do you think it represents, or what do you think it takes you to consider? For you, it's the problem you're solving, Marlene. Great. Okay, so unique selling points. And beyond those words, what does it mean to you, Euphoria? So beyond saying unique selling point, what does it mean really? Okay. Our advantage over the competition. Thank you, Alice. This is exactly that. So amongst the people who know what a UVP or USP is, who thinks that they really master their UVP, that they really have nailed it down? So I love this definition. UVP aims to differentiate the offering from similar options in the market and create a compelling reason for customers to make a purchase or choose a particular brand. It's the core benefit or solution that differentiates your product or service from the competition. Okay, so do you think you have your UVP or not? For those people who said they knew what it is? Okay, for those, great. We'll see about that. And so how about some people don't have it? How many people think they have it? How many people think that they don't have it? So I have 3 yes. Marlene obviously is a yes, because, you know. Okay, so quite a few people actually think they have it. Okay, Marlene, thank you for that. Okay, so let's try to move into the session and to actually see if you have it, and help you actually have it. So what is your UVP? Your UVP is about understanding your customer and knowing your competition. So if you see the little drawing on the right hand side, so the gift is really your solution, your product. This is what you're putting to the market. It's you, and then you are trying to get to someone, the customer. But then around you is competition. And what's really interesting about the UVP is that it's bringing together the key elements, your solution, your customer, and the competition. And believe me, sometimes, and quite often actually, people think about their solution first before thinking about the customer, when the customer actually is key. You could be putting on the market the best gift ever. If people don't need it, well, it's not going to be bought. And so it's really about nailing that down. So I think a lot of I see a lot of people joining and leaving. It's a bit confusing. So what a UVP is? A UVP is what links you and what you're putting out on the market to your customer. It's putting you in contact with the world, and it's the value that you're generating for the customer. So for you to manage to make a value, to have an economic value, for your company to have value, the first thing you need to do is to create value for your customer. So it's, sorry, I'm navigating with all the little screens. So it's what makes you really different, and what makes you right. What a UVP is not. So, you know, this is, you have the definition, broad definition, your solution, the client, the competition. What a UVP is not. A UVP is not like a slogan, a catchphrase, or a motto. So it's not, you know, it's not just do it. If you think about Nike, a UVP is not just do it. It is not a description of your product or service. This is not that. This is not the characteristics and, you know, how beautiful it is. This is not that. It is not a call for action asking customers to buy your product. So it's not going to be an advertisement. It's not going to be trying to find the right argument to get a customer to buy your product or go to your service. And it is not your business model. So your UVP is not going to be your BP. It's part of it, but it's at the core of it. It's at the beginning of it, but it's not your business model. Your UVP is much more than that. It's what sets you apart. It's what makes your product or service like a unique thing out in the market. And so for that, you have to find what makes you different. So we'll consider the three different elements of the value proposition. The first element you need to look at is the customer. So what you're intending to do with your companies, with your business initiatives, is to put something out on the market for someone. So somewhere at the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey, you identified an opportunity, but hopefully you identified a need. And that need from the customer is what you're going to try to address. If there's no need from a customer, whatever you put out on the market, nobody will buy it. So you need to identify your customer. You need to identify what you're bringing to him. But more importantly, you need to identify something that is painful to your customer. You need to identify a problem that your customer is facing. And maybe the customer doesn't know that they have this problem, but you need to identify this problem and show that this problem exists. And then your solution and your product is going to address this problem. The best way, obviously, to be successful is to identify a critical problem, to identify what we call a pain point. So pain point is something that's creating headaches. A pain point is you're trying to take a bus in the morning and there are too many people on this bus. That's a pain point. The person who comes, who manages to solve this problem, who manages to put a bus at that exact spot in the morning, free, with no people inside, is going to be successful because they're addressing something that is painful to people. So to manage to address a problem, it means that your starting point, not even the step 1, but the step 0 of your journey, is about knowing your customer. So you're going to identify who you're going to serve, but to really not just say, okay, this is my, my target audience. I'm going to, I'm going to produce this product or to set up the service for them. No, you need to actually understand how they live, how they work, who they really are. And then you might have like different people to whom your product or service will be relevant. And you'll need to target and to find the right customer for you. So you might not be able to address everybody who will need your product. And that's also, we'll see that in the go-to-market strategy. But that's also very important to be focused to your day one customer. And then you might add different profiles as you grow, but you need to have very few target profiles at the beginning. So you need to really target who you're serving and how you're going to serve them. The second element about the value proposition, about the UVP, the unique value proposition, is your solution. So you're designing, you're putting something out there. How is it solving people's problem? How is it actually addressing this pain point we've spoken about? Is it generating additional gains? So the bus comes, it's free, it's empty, you can go in the bus. Great. Additional gains, maybe the seats are comfortable, more comfortable than the other bus. Maybe the person cashing the money is a nicer one than the one in the other bus. Maybe it's safer. Okay, that's additional gains that will strengthen your product or service. But again, that might not be enough. I really want to stress the point on pain point. Your success really depends on your capacity to solve a critical problem for people. And then anything added to that, yeah, great. Obviously people will be happy about it. So beyond this capacity to solve a problem, your solution has to be simple, accessible. It has to be, so you need to really, when I was talking about knowing your customer, you need to understand how they're going to go to a product or service, to be offering an easy way for them to access your service or product. Like if you're going to sell a product, for instance, you're not going to put it in like 10 boxes and make it really difficult to find. You need to put it in front of people. So you need to understand, okay, in the morning, or they're going to grab a coffee at a little corner somewhere, or they're going to go in the bus. Before they go in the bus, where do they stop? Do they buy groceries? When they buy groceries? So you need to understand how they're going to go about their day to put the product there. Same for the service. If we go back to the bus, you could be putting the best bus in the world, the most beautiful one. It has to be there when people need it. So if the traffic jam and people crammed in buses, it's 7:30 in the morning, well, you need to put that solution at 7:30 in the morning and not 9. So maybe, so it's really about making sure that people don't have to take too many steps to come to you. And then the last element of the value proposition is your competition. And sometimes, especially when we're at the beginning of an entrepreneurial journey, this is something we tend to not focus on so much. We're like really excited about the solution we're putting together. We think it's innovative. We think it's great. We love it because we put so much energy into it. And so we're very excited to put it out there. And also in a way, it might be not more comfortable choosing to not focus on competition, because obviously looking at other competition or that other solution is, it's creating a doubt, really. Obviously, it's putting yourself in position of being challenged. Yet, obviously, it's very important, it's paramount to really look what already exists on the market. Because if you're going to paint your bus pink, but there's already like a blue bus going around and being empty enough in the morning, well, that's not going to be enough. You're not going to be successful. And so you really need to consider what is already out there for your people. Obviously the cost, obviously the characteristics, to make sure that you're offering something different, what we call a competitive advantage. So something that sets you apart from what other people or companies are offering. Like if you're going to put out on the market a new food, for instance, new food products, what is new about your thing? Is it the taste? So it's really better than what other people are doing. Is it a completely new concept? So it might not be better, but it's so different that people might want to try it. Is it nutrition? Okay, other different types of biscuits exist on the market, but your biscuit is very different because it's much better from a nutrition point of view. you know, this kind of elements, what is really different about you. This is what you're going to focus on when you're going to address your target customer. And then ideally, so this is a very hard point, actually, maybe the hardest one. So once you've identified the target customer, you know exactly which pain point you're going to help them solve. When you know the additional gains, okay, maybe the problem of my target customer is that they find that their kids are eating too much sweet and that's not nutritious enough. You put out there a product that actually is based on plants and gives the sweet taste and also the nutritious aspect. So, you know, you've solved a pain point, parents not being happy about the products out there for their kids. You have gains. Okay, on top of it, it's good. But then can people easily do the same thing that you've done? So is your solution hard or easy to replicate? So assuming that what you're going to offer to your customer is different and maybe new, ideally, you would have what we call barriers to entry. Barriers to entry is literally hurdles for competitors to replicate what you're doing. For instance, in this case of a biscuit based on plants, if you're going to have, you know, a particular way of sourcing this plant and people will have a difficult access to it, you might have a barrier to entry solid enough to to generate success for your company. Now, if on the other end the plant is everywhere and people can just like bow and pick up some plants, this is not going to be enough. If you put your product on the market, you'll have to put money into designing it, and then you offer it to the customer. As soon as it's successful, people will copy you. And then you'll be challenged from day one. So to make it successful, you really need to nail down the pain point, the gains, your solution, how you're putting it to your customer, but also to really know who your competitors are, where they are, ideally what their intentions are, and to know the operating conditions so that you're going to slow their path as much as possible. Now is the time for you to work. So as I told you, my goal is for you to get out from the session with maybe not your UVP, but at least some elements to keep thinking about it and to make sure that you've really considered those three aspects: the customer, the solution, and the competition. And so for the next 15 minutes, I would love to invite you to discuss in groups. So we've designed really small groups of 3 people. It's going to be a 15 minutes exercise, so you'll have some time to really think and discuss. And I would love for you to answer the following questions, which I'll post maybe in the, or I don't know if maybe you can do that, Danielle, as we speak, to make sure that people have the questions.
Yeah, so what I've learned, Agnès, is that when we go into the breakout rooms, they can no longer see your screen, and they can also no longer see the chat that existed. Yeah, exactly. So I've taken a screenshot so that I have it for the group that I'm in. Perhaps Christina, Chiara, you can also do the same so that there's someone in each group that has the questions. Okay, so I'll do that as well. Thanks. So really the idea for you, and maybe you can also note it down, ladies. So what is the problem you're solving? What is the pain point? Is there a pain point? And if so, what is it?
Second question, who is your target customer? So if you had to pick one of them, one customer, who are they? Does the customer have other available solutions? Fourth question, why would they choose your solution compared to other people's solution? And last point, what makes your solution difficult to copy? So problem, pain point, target customer, other solutions, your solution, competition, and capacity to copy your solution. Ideally, you would have, each one of you in the group will have 1 minute per question. So, 5 questions, 3 people, 15 minutes. Obviously, maybe you won't have time to cover all of them, but if you would have to choose, the 2 first points obviously are critical. Please challenge yourself. So the idea is for you to other people in the groups be like, okay, maybe this is not specific enough, or what is it that's really different about you compared to that solution? Please don't be shy. Challenge yourselves. This is your way to make your vision more specific and eventually more successful. So please note your answers down as well. So each one of you, for yourself, you put whatever you come up with on a notebook, and then we'll regroup after about 15 minutes. And French ladies, I'll pop in your group to support. Chiara, I think you can start the breakout groups if that's possible. Or am I supposed to do it, or no? It's you, right?
No, she'll do it. I think
You couldn't hear me. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. No, I was saying that I'm going to split in small groups. Most of you will be in couples, so 2 of you, and just one group is made of 3 people. I will put in that group Asna as well, knowing that she can't speak. So Asna, then feel free to join the room or not. Okay.
So Chiara, does that mean we only need 10 minutes since there's just going to be 2 people in each group?
I think we can stick to the 15 minutes, so I won't be generous. After 15 minutes, you will receive the message 60 seconds to be back in the main room, okay?
All right.
So, coming, now I need my 2 minutes. Yes, of course, Asna, I'll put you in a session anyway. Okay. We are ready. And I'm going to share the questions in the WhatsApp group as well. So you can also see the slides with the questions over there. See you in 15 minutes. Bye. Okay, they are there. Hamdi is alone.
Kiara, are you putting me somewhere? I can just go anywhere.
Wait, I haven't put you anywhere because I see that there are a couple of, there is one session where there is only one person. So I move her.
Oh, I see.
And then I move you as well.
Okay.
Okay, so session 3 now is empty. Okay, I think that Christina, you can go with them. And I go with the Portuguese. Okay, session 5, good.
All right.
And Asna, if you want to join the parallel session, just enter the room and you stay in the listening mode. Good. As you like, huh? Really as you like. 25, I think. So I'm moving here. Entra.
All right, welcome back, ladies. I think we have everyone back with us here. So we will allow Agnès. Are you ready?
I am. Let me just put that in. Residential, the right one. I'm sorry. It's just okay. Great. I am indeed. So thank you. I hope it was fine in the groups. It's a pity some of you couldn't talk. What I would love to do over the next 2 or 3 minutes really is for anybody who would want to maybe share what they felt during this activity. So did you how was it? Was it easy or was it hard? And do you feel you were challenged or not? And I don't think I managed to now see the chat box somehow.
Don't worry, Agnès. I can see the chat, so I can read out anything that that's written.
So was it easy or hard, or was it painful to do this exercise? Okay, so I don't know if anything is coming, but
half. We have a half response from Afamia, half from Nisi. Ismahan says easy. Marlene says it was easy for me, but I am stuck on the last question.
Okay. So what I hope you challenge yourself in the groups. So I stayed in the French group, and I tried to push the people I was with. I think it's very important you try to not be easy on you, to not be too lenient on you. It's really important to address a real pain point. And it's really important to target one customer. So we'll come back to that in the go-to-market strategy. But you cannot, I mean, you can say, but honestly, you shouldn't say, okay, my product is for people old and young, rural and urban, inland and outland, in country, in Europe. Yes, potentially your product, if it's good, is for everyone. But this is not what you're going to be successful with. In order to be successful, you need to choose your target customer, your first target. So you need to design your product for someone precisely. You need to really look at the pain point of each group and choose the one for whom it's the hardest. And that has to be the beginning of your UVP. If you intend to... Okay, maybe that wasn't for us. Sorry. It's tricky, it seems easy, but confusing. And I agree. What you are invited to do is to really drill down, creating comfort. Like, I hope my questions were actually tough ones. And if they were too easy, think about it again. You really have to be super precise. After being precise, you can open up and maybe address new markets, but your success will come from being very precise and really addressing something that is difficult for people. So next slide is so it's a proposition of the way you can look at things. So it's in this kind of things, we really love having matrices and toolkits and stuff. So I created some toolkits. So you can go away with elements. But one way, so this is a proposition of to organize your thoughts. So obviously on the left-hand side is your solution. So what you're offering, what not grain gain. That's a spelling mistake here. So what gains it's creating and what pain it's relieving. And really that square there with the little drug and medicine stuff is the most important. Then on the other side, you have your target customer, the one you're addressing, like the one you're targeting first and foremost. And you really have to put yourself in the shoes of that customer and say, okay, what is the pain that I feel and that's really unbearable in my life today? What are the elements, the gains I would love to have in my life? And that what am I supposed to customer jobs about, what their everyday life is about, what they have to do. And again, doing that, the idea is to manage to fit things together. And again, the most important point is the pain and the pain. And obviously at the bottom you have this competition, but really if you try to to put elements in squares and in the circles, it should be helping. Yes, Marlene will actually come to questions now, so perfect, go ahead and do it, and I'll do the previous slide afterwards. So please go ahead, Marlene.
Hi, Agnes. It's not my first time dealing with that question, and it's good to be again in the same questions, because it's easy to make, but as you said, it's confusing. That's why I say that I'm stuck in the last question. How can I make my solution difficult to copy? Because I don't think it is difficult to copy. I'm always thinking, and it's a question that people, when I present my business, they ask me, if there is someone with more financial capacity doing the same, would you be able to stand? Like, this is something that it tricks me, because I don't think it will. If there is someone that comes with more market capacity and just do their marketing and put the product everywhere, I don't think I will stand on it. Yeah,
Okay.
so
No.
then it makes me go again and review the question. So it's it's really difficult.
I think it's a really good question, and sometimes it's difficult to create real barriers to entry. Real barriers to entry will be fairly easy to set in a market that has, for instance, legal requirements. So if you're going to, for instance, my company, we're flying drones. Okay, it's we have authorizations to fly. It's tough to have, and so that's an easy barrier to entry. As long as we're better than our competition, or that our thing is more suited to the market. Okay, that's an easy one. But other thing could be the cost. If your solution, and I remember we spoke in the first, in the first session we had. I remember your task force was specific, and maybe there's an element of cost. So maybe for you, you operating at a cheaper. In cheaper conditions, and maybe a competitor would come and want to put things all over in the market, or maybe what I mean is that for products that and I appreciate that are difficult to easily why it's difficult to put easy element. If you're going that's an example I gave. If you're going to source a specific plant and you only have access to that plant, easy. If not, well, that's that makes it easy to replicate. And then it's going to be about marketing. So how, what is your positioning? So you're solving this pain point, and I remember you do. That's great because you found a pain point in the customer. So now, what additional gains are you providing to your customer? It could be hiring people who wouldn't have opportunity otherwise, and knowing to let your customer know about it. That is really a good differentiating point. So it's not going to be a barrier to market per se, but it's going to be through marketing and through the way you operate that you're going to manage to set you apart from competition. But thank you for asking, because yes, it's a tricky one. Maybe barrier to entry for you would be to manage to go in rural areas where bigger competition with more money wouldn't do, because frankly enough they wouldn't be interested by making a little bit of money in rural villages.
I think you mentioned something good that I would like to raise. So do you think and it's something that I haven't been doing yet. We work with small farmers, women especially. And from September, we will start to show people how we start our process on our social media. We haven't been able yet to do it because we are organizing and we have been facing many issues. And do you think this would be like something to support our position, that we support our families by buying their products, by having like contacts with them to supply direct? We would buy from the other people, but we buy specifically from those people because we want to support the village and things like that.
I mean, it's all about knowing your customers. So if you think that's going to be, assuming that it's the same cost as other products, obviously, it's knowing if that's going to be a motivation to come to your product as opposed to another one. Obviously, from the outside, that is a compelling argument to me, but I cannot judge because obviously I'm not your customer. Obviously, as you look at marketing elements, you need to be really careful ethically to you know, you need to continue to propose the best product out there, the best product you can.
Yes,
you can,
yes.
you can propose, and then to put it as an added value, and maybe, you know, maybe to turn it in a positive way. But that's, you know, that's really like an opinion and a comment. But be careful to stay focused on the program, on the product. So whatever you're addressing on top of it should be an element of communication and marketing, because it's also your dedication to helping, and that's important. People, you know who you are and what you're trying to do with the product, but at the end of the day, they are buying a product.
Yes.
And so, you know, it's yeah, I hope that kind of gives a an element.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to invite other people to participate in the discussion, maybe. And thank you, Marlene. Like any other people has question, comments, doubts, anything? I'm going to do like 10, 9, 8. Okay, so I shall take that as a no. If you do have questions, please, you know, go back in the chat. I just wanted to show you the last slide on that element. So I'm inviting you to just a little bit of homework, but what I would love for you to do, invite you to do, is to go back to the answers you've noted down from the breaking groups, to you know, maybe fill in the matrix. I'm talking about this one, potentially with your mentor. This could be an activity for you too. And from those materials, try to develop your USP and UVP, being as demanding as you can to yourself. You have to be kind to yourself and do it. Be kind. What you're trying and what you're doing today in your communities and countries is, you know, it's tremendous, and you should be proud of yourselves. But keep challenging yourself, because this is also the way to your success. And you never know your customer enough, not too much. And lastly, and I would like to insist on it. So you work teamed with peers in those little breakout groups. You know, maybe, I don't know, maybe you keep those groups, and in little WhatsApp group after the training, you regroup, you create groups of 2 or 3 people, and you work together to help yourself. So I think the peer group, I don't know if you're doing it, but it's very efficient. It's a bit tough in front of a group, and thank you, Marlene, for that, to ask questions and put yourself out there. But, you know, 2 or 3 people, it's easier, and it's really a way for you to get more precise and to better your solution and your product, really. So, you know, I would really invite you to do that, and to be genuine about the feedback you're giving to your peers. It's really like working as a team. So if you don't have any last question on the UVP, I'll jump on the second part of the training, the go-to-market strategy. So once you've managed to understand your customer and to understand what's amazing about your product and your solution, and you know exactly why you're offering that, then you'll have to design and to plan how to meet your customer, how to deliver on your promises. So basically, there's your gift, there's the customer, and it's really your plan to go and meet them. And hopefully, if you're really successful, well, you know, you're sort of maybe not kill competition, but, you know, I managed to put it aside. So what a go-to-market strategy is, it's your plan, your actions, your work plan to put your product or service on the market. It's rather short-term action focused on really launching a product service and putting it into its market. So really, it's your next month's action. What it is not, it's not a BP, it's not a business plan. It's not, your BP is something that's shouldn't be changing too much. It's something that you're setting for the next 10 years, even more. And the BP is about finances, as you probably know, and we'll see later in the program. And it's about numbers, mostly, first and foremost. The go-to-market strategy is not a marketing strategy per se either. So when we think about marketing strategy might be bigger, might be longer term. If I go back to the idea of, designing a perfect biscuit that includes plants that are good for health, okay, your marketing strategy will look at how it's packaged, where it's going to be sold, who's going, if you're going to look at kids first, and then the rest of the market, and then eventually how that product goes into a bigger line of products, maybe some drinks, maybe, so a full sort of suite of products. This is going to be your marketing strategy. So it's quite a bit bewildering, maybe. Your go-to-market strategy is, the first step of it. It's, okay, I have a biscuit with plants that is good for health. I'm going to sell it to parents for their kids. So parents who care about the health of their kids. This is what you're looking at in the go-to-market strategy. So literally, it's your tomorrow morning's actions. So I added this slide for people who like triangles and visuals from marketing consulting firms. I'm not really a fan of this kind of presentation, but maybe some people are. But really, the way I invite you to look at it is to say, okay, we are going through the go-to-market strategy. To address 6 questions. The 6th question is the who. So who is my target audience? Then it's the what. Which product or service am I offering to my target audience? The why. So the why is really connecting those 2 elements together. Why is the customer going to buy my product? What is my proposition to him? The where. So which markets are you going to position to get to your customer? Then the how and the when. So really about planning and action plan. Okay. How to do it? Well, that's what's nice about the go-to-market strategy is that it's steps you're going to take. So now that you know your USP, it's really about breaking it down, a very kind of in a very organized way. So nothing tremendous about it. No need to be a genius. Just let's look at things like in a very easy and analytical way. So there are going to be a few steps about it. So first, market analysis. Market analysis is, again, you never know. As I said, you never know your customer enough or too much. So market analysis is to really, nail down the who and nail down the what. So by the end of the market analysis, you should know which product you're going to put out there and for whom. And then there's the market selection. Where are you going to sell fast? Where are you likely to be more successful? Is it going to be, if we're going at biscuits again, is it going to be in towns or is it going to be in rural areas? Okay, maybe you're like, probably in towns, now there are more customers, true, but maybe there's more competition in towns. Maybe you have to sell cheaper. Maybe in rural areas, actually, there's nothing. And so your product will be the only one. And maybe you might sell at a higher cost, be able to make more revenues with it. So this is what you're going to look at in market selection to be able to really determine who you're going to target first. Then there's the marketing mix. and the customer acquisition. So marketing mix, it's really starting to go in detail. So now that you know which product you're selling to whom, in which market you're going to start, then it's about how you're going to do it. So how are you going to package a product, where you're going to position your product in terms of price, and where will the customer be able to buy the product, to the place and the promotion. And then there's customer acquisition, which is really about then linking it to real action. So now that you know where you're going to want to position your products and how much and which cost and how it's going to look like. Okay, so precisely which stores, or is it going to be planters in this or that region? How are you going to get them? Are you going to hire people to go and talk to them? Are you going to do that yourself? Are you going to use like radio channels? It's really about the how. Today we are not going to look at the marketing mix and the customer acquisition, which will be covered later on in the training. We'll be focusing on market analysis and market selection. For that, I'm going to provide to you a few tools. We'll try to work together on a couple of them maybe. And after the session, you can have access to those tools and matrices. So market analysis, again, your starting point is your customer. So there are many ways you can get information about your customer. You can organize focus groups. You can go and interview people. You can undertake market research. Whatever the activities. Obviously, I mean, we can't do that here, but the idea is to really understand the needs, how people are going to go to the buying buying act, and really understand them, and then you're going to analyze competition. So again, markets, value position, how am I better than the other ones, and a way to organize your knowledge about the customer, the competition, the overall environment, is to go through a SWOT analysis. So we look at that together. Then market selection, and again, there's a typo here, and sorry, I'm fixing that. So market selection, we are going to see, I'm going to propose to you a way to simply organize your thoughts about who, where, and how. So it's really about markets and value proposition. And I'm just going to invite you to the way I'm doing it myself. And then another thing that you should be doing, and really you should be doing, is a risk analysis. So, and again, a risk analysis is about considering what could go wrong, instead of focusing on why it should be successful. It's considering what could derail and how to address it if that is the case. So again, not very nice, but very needed. And lastly, organize your findings in a market selection matrix. So again, the tools for the other parts of the go-to-market strategy will be provided further on in the path. And so with that, let's try it together. So first, I'm going to drink a little bit, because otherwise my English is getting terrible. I'm sorry about that. So let's try it together. I put down a little easy, obviously a simple case, but I would love for us to just work on it together maybe. So Alicia lives in a small town in Central Africa. She manufactures natural medicinal products for women. Her products ease monthly pains. These products are manufactured from local plants. They are not official medicine. Yet women in the community and surrounding villages like it very much. And so Alicia decided to manufacture more products and sell it to other villages and districts. So the target customer is women, rural areas. The pain point is, like monthly pain, literally. The additional gains, it's locally sourced, it's plants, so it's not chemicals. And the competition will assume that, well, she didn't do her homework, so she doesn't really know the competition. And this is going to the starting point. Sorry. So tool one, the toolkit. So tool one is the SWOT analysis. So I'm sure that some of you have heard of it and maybe have done it before launching their service or product. SWOT stands for, the S is for strength, the W for weaknesses, the O for opportunities, and the T for threats. Strength and weaknesses, so the top part is really about your solution. So you should see it as, if you're a person, if your product were a person, it's okay, my strength, okay, I'm resilient, I'm determined, I can do things in a really, if I need to skip sleeping, I will. And then weaknesses, okay, but sometimes I'm not really bright. Sometimes I get very emotional, and so I break up. Person. The below part is about your environment. So the top part is elements that you can, in a way, manage. Elements you won't change, but and you have control over. The bottom part, you have very little control over that. So opportunities, again, if you are a person, would be like, okay, I live in a town where there are many people I can meet, so I can have a really great social life. There are great elements to explore. Threats, yes, but there are no jobs because it's really a small town, and so maybe I won't manage to make a living here. Those elements you won't be able to change. And you are invited to do the same with your service or products. So strengths will be, we'll actually work on that together. So we'll work on Alicia together. So I'll try to stop that sharing and open a new one. And then I'll try to invite you to that. And obviously I don't manage to find the screen I wanted to share. Yes, it is here. So, okay. I'll put the link in the chat box. And so you should be able to then access, just clicking on the link here, you should be able to work on the matrix yourself. I'm not sure. Can you see my can you see the Jamboard?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I invite you, each one of you to come here and pick, the little note like this, and try to put here what you think is a strength, a weakness, an opportunity, or a threat for Alicia. So remember, Alicia is selling medicinal products for women. When they have the periods and they're aching, to ease with that. It's very effective, so people are happy with the product. She's very successful in her community, and now she's decided to go beyond the community. So what do you think is a strength? What do you think is a weakness, opportunity, and threats? And please, so the way to do it is do that and put something here and register. So can you, do you manage to, oh, great. So what would that be? Local supply chain, would that be, so what do you mean no official? Do you mean that it's not a like that's not a real drug? The person who put no official. Okay, can someone try to think about a threat? Alicia. Anybody wants to add something? Okay, I love that you all pick up on the regulatory framework. So maybe we'll stop then. Thank you for taking part. Maybe thank you, Ines. I can see your comment as well. So strength, excellent service, fresh and quality product, best price on the market. Like it's keeps coming. So the strength, okay, local supply chain, so sourcing. I assume you're talking about sourcing, element to source elements for the product. Niche market, maybe and that would actually be an opportunity, a niche market, so a market that is not addressed by a lot of people. That's an opportunity. Women, people don't really care about them. What happens every month? Nobody cares about it. So yeah, you do have like maybe an empty space here, opportunity. Another opportunity as a market. Strength could be, yes, medicinal product, natural, easy for her to source, any other elements like that. Weaknesses, I like the scarcity of emballage. So weaknesses, we don't really know much about Alicia, so it's a bit difficult for us to talk. But weaknesses could be maybe short shelf life, because if it's going to be medicinal product, maybe the likelihood is that it's not going to last for very long. So maybe it's going to be difficult to actually manufacture a lot of volume, and some mini markets because you might have this mismatch. Maybe the package is not great. Maybe the tolerance, maybe another weakness, maybe she hasn't really tested the product. The product has been crash tested on her community, but not really like large scale. So maybe it's not as great, and maybe some people actually get sick. But this is really about the product itself. Opportunities, okay, as we say, there's a market, it's a niche market, so potentially like she could be really successful. But and again, thank you for threats. I mean, you most of you picked up about the policy. Yeah, someone could actually be putting a hurdle because maybe she's presenting herself as a medicine. Maybe she's being sold in health points or pharmacies, and maybe she shouldn't or couldn't because the regulatory framework will not allow her to continue doing so. And so she might have to find new distribution channels. And is it easy to sell women dedicated products in grocery stores? No, that will be difficult. And so that may be a big threat for her. So, it's this kind of analysis that you should be doing when looking at your product. So again, I'll change screen again. Sorry about that. So I should be back on the other one. So I don't know if anyone wants to share or ask something for their business initiative and ask what we think about the specific opportunity or threats. Please do so. This is also an opportunity for us to have a chat. We do have time for that. Another element that once you've done the market research, decide that your competition actually should go in the SWOT. Your competition will be essentially in the threat and opportunities. So what they're offering, and which space they are leaving empty. So once you've done that, then you can go in your market positioning matrix. So your market positioning matrix, this is not something maybe you find in textbooks, but this is something I did for my company. They are, again, working in drones, delivering health products, but over time, we started doing other things because people come to us for other things. And so the question was really like, okay, sector 1 is health, but then we could be planting trees maybe with a drone. Sector 2, environment. Sector 3, well, we could be helping people in rural towns to seed and to easily to easily send seeds in fields or protect their plantations against pests such as locust. Sector 3, agriculture. And then you have different types of activity. Maybe for Alicia, the activity will be a specific medicine, like a pill. And then activity 2 could be all of a sudden she's like, yeah, I'm going to sell herbal teas. This is also a good idea. Maybe it's going to work. And activity 3 and so on and so forth. It's really like, again, you cannot address every market at the same time. You need to be picky and you need to be choosing the markets that are going to generate the most money. So, and the best way to actually have a clear view about it is to put things out on paper. So sector 1, sector 2, sector 3, activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, and then go into detail. So in sector 1, who is going to pay for your solution or your service? Then what are you really offering to them and how much money can you make from it? And not only how much money, but how much is it going to cost you? And so how profitable are you likely to be on that market? Also, is that market likely to grow or not? So are you, again, if I go back to the example of selling a biscuit in rural areas, maybe, day one, you're going to be like, yeah, I can make money. I have my customer. Nobody else is on this market, so it's all for me. Okay, but what is the growth potential? The growth potential in a specific village might be very limited, because once you've addressed the village, that's it. You will manage to get to a certain point of customers, and then that's it. So your growth will be through going in different villages, but then obviously there's a cost attached to it. If you're going to serve in urban areas, on the contrary, you're going to make less money when you sell one biscuit. There's going to be more competition. But then, okay, maybe it's 200 or 300,000 people you will have access to. And so there's a greater growth potential of your market. And so again, this table should be helping you to go, to really ease the thinking by looking only at one or two angles, time by time. And then at the end of the day, you can look at your metrics and say, okay, where is the golden path? What is the most achievable, the easiest thing to do? And eventually you're going to choose maybe 2 squares on this matrix. And this is going to be your market selection. So this is going to be where you decide to focus for now and in the next 2-3 years, and then who knows, you'll see. Maybe, obviously, if you have opportunities elsewhere and someone comes with a really great idea, why not? But really, your action, so what you're going to you put out on there, you should be very specific about, and that you're going to focus your efforts on those squares. Your marketing strategy will be focused on addressing those squares first and foremost. Once you've done that, for each square, I invite you to go into a customer profile. So customer profile is a really nice and kind of fun thing to do. If we have 5 minutes, actually, maybe we can do that. Your customer profile is about deciding who your who an example of your target customer could be. So, if we go back to Alicia, the customer profile could be Nelly, living in her community, and Nelly is 23. She has 1 kid, and then Alicia will go into really, looking at who Nelly is. What's her age? What's her, maybe nationality, gender? Is she married with children? How many children? What is she doing with her children? During the week, during the evenings? Does she have a good time? Is it, when does she work? What does she do for a living? What does she like in life? What does she hate in life? How is she managing to think about herself? Does she love to have, I don't know, haircuts? But really going into great details here. So obviously the profile is imaginary. So it's based on your customer profile, but it's not someone you know, but it's a typical customer. And what you have to do is not just be like, okay, this is, more or less what they are. No, it's trying to put yourself in the shoes of Nelly and be like, okay, every month, Nelly has to stay home because, or to go work and she aches. So, so for Nelly, this is not easy. And then she has 2 young kids and she has to take care of them and she has a headache. And how does she manage that? So you really have to put yourself in the shoes of Nelly and understand, what her life is like. So really, this is both precise and fun to do. Really, you can just take a sheet, like put a random picture or draw around and then go through that, but in a way that makes your initiative very human. And so it's easier when you're going to think about your product or your service to be like, okay, am I still in the right tracks here? Like am I still serving Nelly, or am I, like if I'm going to put a nice box and actually hide the name of the product, yeah, that's going to be nice for Nelly because people, won't know what she's doing. This kind of elements really personalize your thinking as much as you can. And so again, this is something you can do for each specific squad. Sorry, I see now questions in the box maybe, or no, it's just
No, just some comments.
okay. Good. And last element I wanted to share with you is the risk mitigation. Oh, sorry. The risk mitigation strategy. So I told you once you've done this work, then again you have to be. So I mean that was a bit painful to do. You have to really like be kind of analytical and say like really what is the growth potential. Okay, this is quite fun. Like, okay, who is my customer? Do I like my customer? What is great about them? How am I going to serve them? Then this is not so nice. And this is where you're actually going at what could go wrong. What could go wrong about what you're doing, and what could go wrong because you have not anticipated something outside. Obviously, if we look at that, COVID could be, in the bottom part, external. So you're going to have like two perspectives, the internal one and the external one. So internal one is about the way you operate. What could go wrong? What are the risks about what you're doing? So what are the risks about what Alicia is doing? Maybe Alicia, as all of a sudden been very motivated to serve new customers, but she didn't think that she doesn't have access to enough source products, to enough plants to actually really develop our production. So what is the risk? Well, the risk is procurement. The description of the risk is she doesn't have enough. And mitigation, okay, mitigation is what she can do to address that risk. So mitigation, she could be talking to planters who have this kind of plants available. She could be put in touch with co-ops or to try and have more products. And then the most important, the gravity. So is it really serious or not? For Alicia, if she wants to expand her production and she doesn't manage to find the raw products to do it, then it's very high risk. She actually cannot do it. She cannot expand if she doesn't have access to it. So this is something she will need to address first and foremost. Second point, human resources, another example, description of risk. Maybe she doesn't have enough people and she has to hire. Maybe it's tough to hire. Mitigation, she can start today to see what types of people she could be hiring. Is it a great risk or not? Maybe not, because maybe it's easy to find people elsewhere. So I invite you to do that, and to do that also externally. One element, for Alicia, you picked up the regulatory element, so that would be an external. What is the context? That could be political. Maybe someone in her community won't like the fact that she's actually selling products for women. And so maybe some groups will actually come against her to prevent her from doing that. This is something very serious. So she would have to think about it before trying to expand, and so on and so forth. So again, this type of matrix will be available to you. It's a lot of elements, and I appreciate that. And so maybe again, this is something that you can you can take to your mentor and discuss with your mentor. What's very important in there is to manage to identify the things that could make you fail, basically. So if there's a high risk, that can make you fail. Now, if the high risk is very unlikely to happen, maybe that's fine. But if the high risk is something that could happen, that's an issue, and that's something you need to address before putting more efforts out there. With that, it's a lot of talking about me. So do you have any questions, ladies? And please go ahead if you do want to. Well. Okay, I just saw the element on the chat. That's a lot of things. No questions here. No comments. So I ask you, was this session useful to you? Do you think it's practical enough? Can you see what to make out of it, and which elements to use for your own company? Because again, it's not about us chatting, it's about you being able to use it for yourself. So I hope you go away with tangible elements that you can use. But again, now it's time to plan. Now it's time to really try to use those tools. And again, you have 2 amazing resources out there to do so. Your peers and your mentors. We are there, like you're there together for that, and we mentors are there together for that as well. So please, make us work with you and support you in this journey. And so maybe take those tools and put them to your mentors. And the homework. So reflect and fix your UVP and lay out the first steps of your GTM strategy. But if I look at what Daniel just put in the chat box, I think it's very, it goes together. And with that, I'm saying thank you and bye to you all, and good luck with your journey.
Thank you so much, Agnès. That was such a great session. Lots of comments in the chat of how useful it's been, how helpful thinking in this manner has been. So ladies, Chiara has shared a little spoiler alert for next week's session, which is going to be about refining your business model. And a lot of what we covered today will help you in going into that session next week. So highly encourage you to work through the matrices that Agnès has shared in the presentation. Do use your mentors. That's what they're there for. I know that some of you have not yet communicated with your mentors, despite being prompted to do so multiple times, I think, by Chiara. Use them. They are a valuable resource to you. And I know that maybe you don't know what to ask them, or you don't know what to say to them, or you don't want to feel like you're wasting their time, or you don't want to feel like you don't have the answers. But that's the point, is you're not meant to have the answers. You're meant to be able to use them as a resource to, take their expertise, to hold your hand through this journey, and really harness the power of having that mentor. So you have 8 sessions, or 8 hours rather, available with them that can be crafted in whatever way you want. So maybe it's a few hours at a time rather than 1 hour 8 times. But the first step is really just reaching out to that person and setting up an initial meeting so that you can start that relationship and gain as much as possible from that relationship. Do not feel like you are a burden to that person. Do not feel like you are wasting their time. They are volunteering their time generously and willingly to help you on your journey of being an entrepreneur. So, let yourself be creative, take risks, explore new ventures with your business. Those are all things that your mentor can help you with. And indeed, all of the exercises that we've done in the training sessions, you can take those away to your mentor as well and work through them in more detail. I know that sometimes sometimes in business, it can be overwhelming to get opinions from lots of different people. Everyone has a different idea for how your business can run. And that sometimes holds us back from seeking out advice because we don't want to hear yet another opinion. Your mentors aren't there to change your mind on stuff. They're there to help you and to interrogate things in a different way so that maybe you open your mind to new possibilities that weren't there before, okay? And as Sarito said during the opening session, you know, harness the power of your mentor. She also shared to be active in the learning session. So I know that now that we're getting a little bit more used to each other, we're opening up a bit more, we're being more vulnerable, we're sharing more about our businesses. Please keep doing that. In the breakout session that I was in this morning with 3 of the women from Somalia and Somaliland, we learned that there are synergies between 2 of their businesses and that possibly they can start working together and collaborating with each other later. So the more that you're able to contribute in these learning sessions and be active, the more that you'll also get from that. Okay, so don't be afraid to ask questions, make suggestions, share your experience, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. And then finally, she shared, you know, don't let anybody or anything stop you from starting your business. You have already chosen this work to be an entrepreneur. It's a difficult path to be on. There's going to be lots of highs and lows, but you are already empowered. You are already strong. You already believe in yourselves and you can make it and you can make your business successful as well. So really use these next 6 weeks, 7 weeks that we're together. I know it's over like 2.5 months, but the next 7 sessions that we have together, really use this time to your advantage, to learn as much as possible, to grow as much as possible, and take advantage of those mentoring sessions, okay? Our session next week is going to be around business model, the business model. So please, as much as possible, try to prepare some of the stuff that we've worked on so far up until this point to bring into next week's session. And then of course, don't forget to join our WhatsApp group if you're not in it already. You can always get the recordings and the PowerPoints in the link that's here, the Google Drive. I know Chiara has shared it in the WhatsApp group and will continue to do so. And then finally, please tell us your opinions about today and fill in the brief survey. I've been told it takes no longer than 3 minutes. Let us know what you liked, let us know what you didn't like, let us know what's missing, what we can do better, so that we can address those also in future sessions, okay? All right, ladies, see you again next week, same time, different link. All right, take care.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.